Bonsoir, bonjour, ça va, ouais, c'est tout. Ah, fantastic. Well, I tried the same a few weeks ago. I was so lucky. Fantastic. Perfect view, perfect view. Ciao.
Thank you. I think I have to put the sound a little bit more.
Stronger.
Yes, much better.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Fantastico. So, so good to talk with you finally. Well, we just have a short talk on telephone, but it's so now I see you. It's very good. Welcome to our conversation. New ideas.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank
so,
you.
Well, I'm fine. I'm in Florence. What?
Welcome in Paris.
Well, fantastic. Now I'm in Florence in this morning. So, greetings from Florence to Paris. It's a perfect combination, no? Art and the beauty connected together.
You are so lucky.
Well, you're not living in a... I mean, you're lucky as well. But yeah, I must say I'm lucky. Yes, I'm lucky. Florence is a good place to stay. But so, as usual, I will introduce you very briefly because you don't need to be introduced, but you are a word. So it will take all the half an hour of conversation to introduce you. So I will be super fast and furious, as we say. So, Patrick Jouin, you are 1967, so we are very close. I'm 66. You come from Nantes, which is an amazing city, and well, it's very interesting your background because you started with Atelier, and then you have a training with Philippe Starck, the king of French design. And then you started in 1998 your own production, as far as I understand. And in 2006 you opened your, and then in 2006 you opened this amazing office with the Joan Manco studio, which is very interesting. I was very impressed by the capacity of bringing together different kind of scale and view in the same body. It's fantastic, very interesting, absolutely very interesting. And then Compasso d'Oro in 2011. This amazing, the substance of design in Pompidou. Who decided the title? I love the title. The substance of design is fantastic. Did you invented it?
No, it's the curator. It's Valérie Guillaume who thought about it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And well, and now we are. Sorry.
For the exhibition in the Centre Pompidou, I really wanted to not to speak about what I do, but how I do it. Okay, and because I imagine many people who were coming at the Centre Pompidou didn't know me, and but they were maybe interested to know how design is made. Yeah, and so it was a conversation about how we do the project.
Well, which is the best way, yeah, to bring people close to design, no? To bring people close to the complexity of your work, which is very intense, very, very, very powerful. And now you are sitting on Ila, the newborn of a Pedrali family, which is fantastic. When I tried it a few weeks ago, I felt so good. I said, "Wow, but this is my chair. This is my chair." Yes, yes.
It's really about this idea about embracing the body in the middle of a big space. I dream to see Ila in a huge and big space, and just to have Ila small like this, like a little sculpture in the middle of this big space, and to the strength of a silhouette, and to be attracted by the piece of furniture, and to find coziness inside, relax. Yeah, it's that's why
yeah, you're right, but because it's a very strong, iconic presence. The volume is very important, and it's much more than a chair. It's a space where you sit in, no?
Yeah, it's almost like in cabane. You know, when you are.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, it's and it's amazing what an object can do inside a space, because we are interior architects. That's what we do. Also, we design space, and we also play a lot with the relation in between a little object and the void, and the relation with the body, with people going around, and what you can do. So it was missing in my portfolio, because very often I have a big ego. So when we design a space, I put my design.
Well, which is very powerful.
This one was missing. And,
when I saw it, it reminds me a possible chair of the boss of a 007 movie, no? When you have the big spectre boss, you know? Yeah, it's fantastic. And it's also very, it's true that it's a very strong space. And also give a kind of soul to the place where you put it, no? So as the presence, which is a very iconic, because it's kind of 3 layers, which hug your body, and then you have the base.
I think I have. I think it's maybe the first sketch, one of the first sketch I did. I don't know. I will show you.
Sure.
Really,
wow.
The beginning of the project, really this idea of to play with 3 leaves of something a little bit with you know, with this, just to have something very mushy, very comfortable, the outside to be more sleek, so you have this tension, and not to be afraid with this, you know, which is maybe in for Pedrali, not what they used to do or what we did together. So we did something more sleek, and here we introduced this idea of comfort, and it's also like the Italian comfort, because it's
you're right. It's kind of domestic, and this idea of being domestic and public, no? It's this idea of being domestic and public in the same moment, which is very Mediterranean, no? Because you feel home everywhere if you feel comfortable, if your body feel well, and this movement plays very well. I loved it. I really loved it.
Thank you so much.
Well, and what about the base? Because you studied 3 different kind of base for this chair, no? Which is kind of unusual. It's 1 chair, 3 base.
It's coming from I would say when I was studying art, and when I studied Brancusi.
Okay.
I was reading about how he was doing a sculpture, and he was always starting with this base, very rough, okay, and every piece he would put on top of each other will be more and more polished, and so I use this idea of the base.
Okay.
Because almost it's a part of the sculpture, but it's not sculpture. It's okay. I like this game. So we have for the moment 2 different. I hope another one maybe in the future. But we have one which is like a conic, simple shape. So you can rotate, which is also super comfortable. Instead of a lounge, you don't want to see the people next to you. You just do a little angle like this, and you are in your own world.
In a very gentle way. Yeah.
And we made it in steel. And I was in Bergamo last week, and I saw it for the first time. And
I was the impression.
It's fantastic, because when you design something, we made the first model, but it's the emotion. And as a designer, we all know that you have drawn something, you have made everything, and when you see it for the first time, it's this or this. You know,
you're right.
You're happy, or not. So it was like this.
Okay.
And I was very happy to saw it. It's like it's a year and a half of effort of everyone,
wow.
risk of, and you see it for the first time. It's always
Wow.
a pleasure. I hope now it's we are
It's outside. It's outside. But it's
exactly.
interesting because when I saw the three chairs, the three of them has a very different personality. The wooden one is more kind of domestic or for a place where you have to feel very comfortable. The volumetric one is a kind of sculpture that can be in a museum of modern art or in a very important lounge of the office somewhere. And the other steel one has a completely different personality. I was very impressed by the fact changing the base was changing the personality of the same chair.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's pretty amazing. And I'm very happy also with the one I'm sitting on it, with just a thin piece of tube. It's, for me, it's almost coming back to my first chair I did, which was made like this, with very thin piece of steel of tube. Very. We were afraid at the beginning it will be maybe not enough, and we made it. And it works perfectly. So very, I think that's the essence of Pedrali.
No, you're right. You're right. It reminds me the Prouvé or Albini with the capability of having a very beautiful body with a very thin leg, which was always very elegant. I don't know if you agree with that. There was always such a beautiful. Well, you know.
To speak about Albini. No, it's amazing, beautiful.
Yeah. But it's interesting that in your love relation with Pedrali, you arrived to such a different chair because it's a lounge chair. It's a very strong, let's say, identity. And but your relationship with Pedrali is quite long. Because you have Rêve, Era, Esther, Elliot, Social. So you have different families. So can you tell us more about your love affair with Pedrali? When did it start? How did it come out?
It starts, I don't remember when exactly, a few years ago.
Yeah.
It's Alain Ducasse, the French chef I'm working with for more than 20 years. We have made many projects together. And he made the connection. He knew someone. It was a vendor in France, and he knew him and her, and made the connection. And I came. The idea was to design for the hotel in London, the Dorchester. That's why I called the chair Esther.
Okay.
Second chair for the restaurant. It's a 3-star Michelin, very chic, and I propose this idea of making a chair for chic restaurant, and using, I would say, my experience, my knowledge about restaurant. And Alain Ducasse is in love with the chair. He put it in all his restaurants.
Really?
Yes. It's very hard for him to use another chair. Every time say, okay, we put it already there. Okay, let's try another one. And very often he go back to Esther.
Fantastico.
And after I was hoping to find a company like Pedrali, because I'm a designer, but I love to mix different technique.
Yeah.
I love and in front of me I have an amazing story, an amazing family with this knowledge, and the fact that Pedrali is produced the objects. So it's when you are a designer, you need to have this relation.
Absolutely.
You draw something, feasible, not feasible, too expensive, and so you have a very efficient discussion. And I love industry.
Yeah.
I am an industrial designer. I love industry. I love all the possibilities given by industry to it's the poetry you have in all this machine, and it's always very nice discussion with Giuseppe Pedrali, with Luca, it's with all the team.
About challenges and limits, no? About the potentiality and the possibility to go a step further, no? Every time.
Giuseppe think, you know, I present a drawing. It's feasible. We can make it. So it's great.
And, no, yeah, I can imagine. You know, I was very impressed by your drawing. You have a, you're kind of, which I really love, a kind of very traditional, like an 18th, 19th century way of drawing with a pencil and your beautiful sketchbook. So, because I feel that the only way to control forms is through drawing, you know. Drawing is the first act, is the first physical, sensitive relationship. And then you move.
It's because of this.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Well, these and they play together.
You touch something, it goes inside your brain, and it's, you have the memory of it.
Yeah.
And when you draw, it's your hand also. So it's connected immediately with all the memories of all the things you touch and saw.
Yeah.
So it goes through, it goes inside the drawing. It's very, very quick. It's much quicker than only the eyes are with the computer.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Flesh.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you.
But I love to draw. And it's fast, and it's like a conversation. Very often I will just draw in front of my friend or an editor. I will just change the drawing of a project or just draw in front. It's a conversation, and I have the luck, but it's a few years of work to be able to draw like this.
Yeah. But then your drawing are very delicate. I mean, they are not aggressive. What I like about your drawing that the line follow the eyes and the mind. I mean, it's not just a sketch. You know, well, I'm a fond of drawing in architecture and design, so I know them a lot. And your way of sketching or drawing is kind of following a way of thinking, and at the same time, it's like touching a velvet. You know, when you know, I love textiles, so when I touch a very good cotton or very good velvet, there is a very soft contact, which gives me an amazing sense of a set of emotions. No, so your drawings looks like a drawing of velvet. No, it's very thin and very delicate, but in the meantime, it's very clear. So it's like cutting with a knife in something warm. No, so the line is very thin, but it's very clear. It's what you think.
So sometimes I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay? Sure.
So it's like I will really draw very, very thin line that I am almost the only one I can see. But I don't like when it's the pencil who is thinking. I prefer me. Okay.
To keep the control. To keep the control.
You project the idea on the piece of paper, and what you did, you can after see if it's good or not, and you can correct it. So it's a discussion in between something which is very blurry, which is an idea, and after you can't lie. You have to use it like it's a conversation with yourself and with a project, and you correct and you go and you move and you move and you move, and sometimes it's evident because you have slept very well in your dream. You were working, you were thinking about it, and you just make a drawing and it's
there. It's clear. Yeah. But what also impressed me a lot about your work, that you have you are one of the few designer I know, industrial designer I know, that has a very strong, clear relation with space. I mean, you are not just thinking about object, you are thinking about space into space. So everything is related to spatiality, to the body, to the user, to the experience, to the sensation. So it's not just only an object, but it's a part of an experience within a space. And this interests me a lot because it's not common in industrial designers that sometimes are too much focused on detail, on the single, or, you know, it's fantastic. But what impressed me about your vision is more circular, let's say, a sphere, let's say, where you play together with one element and the other. So how did you work with that? I mean, how did you work placing, thinking to the space you are going to design? Well, Ducasse is the key example, but then you design a lot of things. But probably your playground, your real playground was the Ducasse series, let's say.
Yes, it's okay. When I was a kid, I was a church boy.
Okay. Yeah.
And I spent a lot of time because I was annoyed.
Okay. Well. Yes.
But I watched the space.
Yeah.
The church, this gigantic, big, with small human in it. And that's where I learned about void.
Okay.
About emptiness.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
That's how, okay. And I discovered the power of it, the light, how can light is going through the space. So I'm very lucky that my mother forced me to go to the church for so many years.
But tell me, the church was a medieval church, was a Gothic church? Which kind of church?
It was a little church in the little village in France, not a nice one, but because they are all corresponding with rules of architecture, they are always pretty good in terms of architecture. So I learned about void and architecture and space. And after, I use furniture to give a measure.
Okay, to size the space.
Small, big. And after, I love dancing.
Yeah.
And I love to watch dancer. Okay. I love how they act, how they walk in space, and their jumps, grace.
Yeah.
There is this idea of movement and grace with the body of everyone. Okay, and the emptiness and this object put a little bit like this randomly and create. Also path and movement and relation with space, and it works like this. It's very intuitive. Okay, that's
no, but I think it's very clear. It's very clear because I think that architecture is always a matter of sizing the void. Void is a physical space that you live in, and the bodies and the furniture, the object which follow us, size the space and give a kind of perception of it, no? Like Ila is a perfect sizing of a space because there's a very strong volumetric elements that if it's put inside a so-called emptiness can give immediately a very strong presence, no? And define the space itself.
Exactly, yeah.
It's fantastic. But also, I know that you also added one piece also to the Reva family, no? With the Reva twist using cord.
Yes, it's really to make it more, I would say, outdoor, with the spirit of the outdoor, of the chords, the fact that you can let something outside, the wind will go through, the rain will maybe there, but to play with this idea of just a caution you took and
sure.
Here, and it's very simple. Idea of almost not design, or using old efficient design invented by a human in the history, the bed, because beds were made like this before. They were just a cord. If you go in India, you will see a full frame with just a rope.
And so elegant. So elegant, so beautiful, beautiful and elegant. I agree with you. Can I ask you one of the you have been working a lot on public spaces, no? And I was very impressed by the fact that you design a set of public spaces for the city, like a bicycle, a bus stop, and also a place for water and for cleaning, and yeah, and. In this moment, working on public space is so delicate, no? Because we are living a very strange moment. I saw this amazing, very funny work you designed for Ala restaurant, but I think it was mainly an attempt to start thinking about that. But apart from COVID separation, which is not my point, what does it mean for you working today on a public space for a community, no? A changing community? Because in a way, it's the resistance space for people who move on and gives a kind of a, let's say, temporary home for a while, not to give quality for a while of your life.
Okay, so I think public space is very important in terms of politics. It's the place where everyone meet,
yeah,
old, young, rich, poor, men, women, every religion, every color.
Yeah.
And so we have to dedicate a lot of quality to this space to make things, I would say, softer. And it's an opportunity for all of us to make the relation in between the social relation stronger, better.
Yeah.
Every time a city abandons the public space, doesn't give quality to it, at the end, you have a very bad result socially,
yeah.
and it happens everywhere. Where when you have a piece of the city where it's poor,
yeah,
that's where you have to inject design, inject quality. You can just put some chairs, and people will come. Maybe they will steal them. You don't care. You put the chair and people will come and they will talk.
Yeah.
They will talk to each other. To stranger, they will play card, and you will see the level of anguishness will just drop, will just go down.
Yeah.
So for me, as a designer, I love to act, to do something. To design a beautiful chair, it's fantastic. Of course, I love it.
Right.
But
Sure.
I was selfish. When I work for the public space, I know I'm working for the best, for something better.
I totally agree with you, because I still think that beauty can save the world. I still think about that. And you know what, people, when you put in the poorest place good object, beautiful things, people feel that you care. So if you care them, they feel better, because they feel not the last one, but they feel that that space for them is a space for their life. So if somebody care, if an institution care, they start also taking care of this space. No, so it's a process of also of social regeneration, bottom up, which is very important.
I think it's a democratic way of seeing things. Also, it's to have the citizen to participate in the design of the city. It's not easy. It's easy to say, very hard to do.
I agree with you.
You can really use the public space as a laboratory, also for a relation between citizen and I would say the state, which is like we don't know who it is.
Okay? Yeah.
And to ask the citizen to participate in their own city. Yes, things will be destroyed because so you have to invest also in repairing.
Yeah.
It's very important, because it's impossible to design something which is so solid that you don't have to repair or repaint all the time. Yes, you have to repair and repaint all the time, but never stop. Just do it, and at the end, I think you make the city much better.
Yeah. So I think that for you, it's fantastic to move back and forth from Ducas to a public space, which is anonymous, no? It's the best way to work on different, all the part of the world you can imagine.
To work for luxury was a surprise in my life.
Yeah.
I come from a very normal background. My father is a craftsman.
Yeah.
And my mother is a nurse.
So,
okay,
perfect.
They are retired now, but okay. The first time I went in the 3-star restaurant, it was for Alain Ducasse. The first time in my life. It's very nice.
Yeah,
but a chef like this, a cook like this, also they all came from very normal background, but we are working for luxury, and with the craftsmen. For Hermes, for Van Cleef & Arpels, and it is the best craftsmen working for this beautiful company, and they are also, it's a social. If you want to buy a beautiful piece of Hermes, and buy a craftsman, very simple.
No, I think it's important. Yeah, I think it's important to work with beauty, considering that designing good forms that are comfortable, that can be for everybody, guess the quality for everybody is the most important goal in the work of a designer, no? Because then you have, you know, world is different, world is complex, but taking care and making them with love and making them in the best way, I think.
I don't know if it can.
Yeah, kind of civic value, no? Very strong political and civic value for designer, and it's beautiful to design good things for everybody, no? The democratic good quality of design.
I think it costs the same to do a good chair or a bad chair.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
And it's a good bus shelter, a bad bus shelter costs the same. So yes, we just have to do it, to try to do it, to do our job the best way. Okay, after it's who is asking, and the person who is asking the design of the public space, he has to know, he has to understand what's design and what could be the result of a good way to do things. This is rare, and that's why we are trying to do everything we can to educate. Is not a, it's too strong word, but to educate politicians to what's design, and the public also. So now there is design everywhere. Okay, Public knows what's design.
Yeah, but I think it's I think it's important to struggle for beauty, not to struggle for quality. It's the best way to improve our life. And well, fantastic. So I let you enjoy Ila. I invite you because it's such a beautiful chair, and I hope that we will have the chance to use it together next time in Milano with the next furniture fair, which we hopefully will be there next April.
I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. It's all right. It's okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Ciao. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Viva.